Welcome back to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. And now let's start with the first story. It's called Follow the Policy. A few years back, I worked in a corporate office, where things went pretty smoothly. Until our new boss, Mr. Micromanage, joined. Mr. M had one obsession: following company policies. It didn't matter if the rules were outdated, inefficient, or just plain absurd. If it was in the policy manual, he insisted we follow it to the letter. And of course, he loved catching people not complying. One Monday morning, he called a meeting to lecture us on policy adherence. He wrapped it up with: if it's in the manual, you follow it. No exceptions. I'm not a fan of being micromanaged. But if he wanted us to follow the rules, I figured I'd give him exactly that. I knew our company's policy manual hadn't been updated in years, and some of the rules were a bit outdated. One of the gems in there was about handling printed documents. Every printed company document, no matter how minor, had to be reviewed and stamped by our document compliance officer before being distributed. Only problem was, that position had been cut from the budget 2 years ago, but Mr. M said no exceptions. So I decided to comply. The next day, I printed out our standard quarterly report that everyone needed. When people came by to pick it up, I let them know, sorry, I can't distribute it until it's been reviewed and stamped. I sent Mr. M an email asking where I could find the document compliance officer for the review, and he came over looking confused. Just send out the report. I'd love to, but it needs to be reviewed and stamped as per company policy. Where should I send it? Mr. M pauses and glares. Just follow the policy. Word spread quickly, and soon everyone was complying with every outdated policy in the manual. Karen from HR started enforcing the dress code policy, which required all employees to wear business formal attire at all times. Soon everyone was coming in wearing suits and ties, while people in accounting were crunching numbers in cocktail dresses. Jake from marketing followed the policy, requiring management approval for all expenditures. So he sent a request to Mr. M every time he needed to make a 10-cent photocopy. By the end of the week, the office was a disaster. Productivity tanked, projects were delayed, and everyone was cranky from wearing formal clothes all week. Mr. M tried to reprimand us, but we'd all just say, sorry sir, just following the policies, like you asked. It took only 1 week of this chaos for Mr. M to call another meeting, and with some reluctance tell us to use common sense instead of following every single policy. He even promised to start updating the manual. And this is how our office briefly turned into a circus of hilarious compliance, until our boss learned that some rules are better left a bit flexible. The next story is called Union Contract. At my old job, my manager Mary was strict about everyone bringing in a doctor's note if they were out sick. Seeing my doctor just for a note was about $50. So one day I was at my doctor's office when Mary called to double check that I was going to bring a note. I let her know that neither of my company credit cards was working at the doctor's office. One card was for internal use, like tools, and the other was for external expenses, billed to clients. Mary told me, use your own and file an expense report. No, I'm not here to lend money to a multi-million-dollar company. After a moment she said, fine, use mine. I explained to Mary that the doctor's office couldn't take credit card numbers over the phone, at which point she snapped. Then you won't be paid for today. I calmly asked her to send that to me in an email, which she did. So I emailed back that I'd need a union day to file a grievance, as refusing to pay me was against our collective agreement. I pointed out that there was nothing in the contract that required a note for just one sick day. It only applied to absences of 3 consecutive days. I also let her know I'd need a second union rep, since I couldn't represent myself. And in our agreement, union days for grievances can't be denied, unless there's a major catastrophic event. Mary then called me back, sounding more than a little stressed. "Fine, I'll pay you," she said. But I replied, "No, the violations already occurred, and the grievance demand has been filed. We are moving forward with this." She tried to argue, but I finished the call with, "My union rep will be in touch." The grievance was settled at the first stage, so I got paid, and the company had to swallow the cost of the union's involvement, all over a doctor's note. During the grievance meeting, Mary claimed that the language in the collective agreement was open to interpretation, and that she was interpreting it correctly. I calmly asked her to flip to the last page of the document, and once she did, I asked who signed the contract. Mary listed the signatories: VP of HR, National Union Rep, VP of Operations, and me, the VP of Union Accreditation. So I asked, "So, what you're saying is that you, who weren't present for any of the negotiations, know more about the contract I helped negotiate for the last 3 renewals?" Mary just cut the meeting short, saying I'd receive an answer by email within 7 days. But I reminded her she actually had 3 business days to respond, as per the collective agreement that she knew so well. The third story is called Sick Leave. I used to work with a guy called Jesse. He was a retired US Marine, and honestly, one of the coolest, hardest working people you'd ever meet. Everyone loved him. But then a new supervisor came in, and this guy was the ultimate yes man. Anything the upper management suggested, he'd make it a commandment, even if it completely wrecked our lives at work. Jesse was near retirement and had been dealing with some health issues, so he had a lot of doctor's appointments. It was right around the holidays when everyone wanted time off, but we had a policy that only allowed up to 50% of our team on leave at a time. But our new boss, wanting to score points with upper management, decided to make it 75% staff minimum and cancelled everyone's leave. Naturally, chaos erupted. Suddenly, people started getting sick. Annoyed, the boss decided he'd require doctor's notes for every sick day or appointment. That only fueled the rebellion. People didn't mind paying a $25 copay for a day of bounty, and the whole place turned mutinous. But Jesse had it worst, dealing with frequent health appointments, while being harassed by this boss every time he used his sick leave. Finally, Jesse had enough. He went through our union contract and found a key detail. Documentation for sick leave didn't have to come from a doctor. Jesse had a colonoscopy coming up, and he managed to get his doctor to print a picture of the inside of his colon as his note. Jesse retired shortly after, leaving a legend in his wake. The place just wasn't the same without him. The last story is called Just Know. A few months ago, I decided to book a return bus ticket to a nearby town over a busy holiday weekend. Since I planned to do a bit of cycling, I called the bus company ahead of time to confirm that I could bring my bike. They assured me I could, as long as I got there 30 minutes early. On the trip down, the driver even opened up a special hatch to make it easier to load the bike. I had a great weekend cycling around. Then, on the way back, things got interesting. It was pouring rain as I arrived half an hour early at the bus station, dripping wet. Out of courtesy, I even bought some paper towels to dry my bike, so it wouldn't get other luggage wet. The bus arrives. I go over to the baggage area and ask if I can load my bike. The attendant just says no. No explanation, no alternative. Just no. I explained that I had cleared this with the company, but he's not budging. He insists there's no space, even though I can clearly see room in the hold. Departure time is now, and I have work the next day. So, desperate, I say, well, head office said I could bring it, so I'm bringing it. I lift my bike, step onto the bus and begin making my way to my seat, which of course is on the upper deck. So up the spiral staircase I go with my XL bike, scraping a little here and there, but onward and upward. By now, every passenger on the upper deck is watching, and to my surprise, they are all on my side. We find a spot to secure my bike, even though it's practically blocking the entire aisle. Every time the conductor came up to check tickets, he'd see my bike, sigh, and turn back down the stairs. The bike and I made it home safe and sound. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. Also, if you want to support me further, check out the channel membership or Patreon. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.